Hi there, my name is Travis Burgin. I am a student teacher currently enrolled at the University of the Sunshine Coast, and I, like you, have trouble with computers from time to time. So that is why I'm here today to talk to you about what is a computer, what is software, what are computer programs, and more importantly, what is the hidden backbone of all computer programs known as binary. But before we get to that, let's go back to the basics. I know my colleague Gareth has already explained in a previous video how do computers work. However, he focused more on the physical aspect of the computer. He never dived into what is software and what are operating systems. However, in this video, I will be explaining a review of what is a computer, what is an operating system, and how do computers work, and what is the backbone known as binary. Now, when we look at a computer, we have 5 main components of a computer. We have the input function, whereas we take data from the real world and input it into the computer itself. When we put data into the computer itself, it is stored within the computer's memory and mainframe. However, there is also the output function, which is the mirror image of the input function. With output, we can take the information back out of the computer by printing it, or we can manipulate it and make it be displayed as different items, such as graphs or images. Now, to do all this, the computer has to have a central processing unit, known as the CPU. Within the CPU, it allows the computer to interpret different instructions you have input into it, as well as calculate algorithms, such as addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, equals. All those mathematical functions are controlled by the central processing unit. However, the other 2 aspects of the computer are the memory system, where you can take data and save it and store it for a later date, bring up old data, or save new data over the top because you've worked on it again. And then we have the hard drive, which is the brain of the computer. Because without the hard drive, the computer isn't really there. The hard drive can also be interpreted into a USB or a portable hard drive. It is a big storage unit where you dump all the information of your computer to save it for a later date. Now that we've gone back over a quick review of what a computer is, I'm going to take you through what is a computer program and some operating systems. Alright guys, now we're going to have a look at some computer programs. Now, when you look at a computer program, it is a set of step-by-step instructions that tell the computer how to perform specific tasks. Without computer programs, your computer is merely a really expensive paperweight. Now, looking at software on computer programs, we have an understanding about what it is. If you can touch your computer, the keyboard, the mouse, that's the hardware, but the software is the internal systems of it. Now, the internal systems are things such as the operating system. Now, most operating systems you can find on a computer or a phone or a tablet are either run on Windows, Apple, Linux, or Android. Now, these operating systems are variable, and each one offers different systems and different programs that can run exclusively or non-exclusively on their unique brands. Now, looking at this software, this is a Windows PC software. So on Windows, most students will have access to the Start menu, which is your search engine, where you can access all the programs currently installed on your computer. By doing this, you can enter File Explorer, where you'll store documents, pictures, music, videos, the lot. Now, looking at this, there are other types of software as well. Besides your File Explorer, which is the hard drive of your computer, you have access to an internet browser, such as this one. This is Google Chrome, the most preferred choice of internet browser. It allows you to access the internet in a very clear and concise way. The other styles of these are Microsoft Word, indicated by the Word option down here. It'll load up in a second, and it's where you input your Word documents. School students, throughout the course of all their programs, will use Microsoft Word as their bread and butter, because most assignments are now completed through Microsoft Word. You also have something known as a media player. There are multiple media players such as iTunes, VLC, Windows Media Player, QuickTime Media Player. All of them play an important role, but most of them have access and will display digital media such as DVDs or CDs, as well as any movie files or music files stored on USB or the hard drive of the computer. There's also something known as antivirus software, because this is an amazing system of software. However, it can be corrupted and attacked by viruses. That is why such antivirus software such as Norton, AVS, they are all important because they protect your computer. Now, it prevents malware. So most new computers, especially the ones at your school, will already have antivirus software installed, so you don't have to worry about any of those problems. Now, the two important things to keep in mind though, you must keep your antivirus software up to date at all times, as there are currently new threats developed every day by new hackers that want to infect your computer. Also, even if the antivirus software is running, it can still be attacked by by viruses that can get through the antivirus software. Now, because of all the different programs on a PC, there is a little activity you can do with your students, particularly in primary school, to get them to understand the differences between a word processing software, a video processing software, and an image processing software. Oops. Okay, go. Alrighty then. So the activity I have in plan for the classroom involves at least a group of 3 students. Now, these students will be pretending to be computer software. Now, we need a word processing software, a design processing software, and a media processing software. Now, the way this activity will work is student 1, who is the word processing software, will write an action, such as running, catch a ball, jump. One of these physical actions that can be acted out. That is then sent to the design program, played by student number 2, and student number 2, acting as a design program, has to draw the action from the word process program. Now, this could be any action, can be drawn anyway, can be used on the computer with an actual design software or in their books. Once student 2 has finished drawing the action, it is then sent to student number 3. Student number 3 is the media software. Now, the media software means they have to present the action to the rest of the class, or even to the teacher. And because this is a physical action such as jumping or running, the student will then proceed to demonstrate the action dictated by the word processing software created by student number 1. Once this has been completed, the media playing software will shift to the word process software. The word process software will jump to the design software, and the design software will become the media software. And this will be rotated through until each student has a turn to be one of the 3 softwares to determine what their other students in the group have to draw and present to the class. Alrighty then, now that we have seen what is a computer program and what is computer software, we're going to now move on to the backbone of both of these, which is the topic of binary. Now, what is binary, you're asking yourself? Well, it's the language of the computer. Now, to a human, we see the alphabet, such as the letters A, B, and C. But to a computer, they can only understand one of 2 things, a 0 or a 1. So if we want a computer to display the character A, it needs to see the binary sequence of the letter A, which is 01, 000, 001. So when we press the A key on a keyboard, it tells the CPU through the binary sequence 01000001 to put an A on the Word document through the word processing software. Now, as you see here, this is the binary alphabet used by computers. Now, it's not the full alphabet because each binary sequence has 256 possible combinations to choose from. A is just one of the 256 possible combinations that can be used. Alright, now when looking at binary, we need to look at the size of the data. Now, binary data is stored as a bit, which is the smallest unit of data in a computer. A bit has a single binary value. It is either represented as a 0 or a 1. All instructions that the computer executes and the data that it's processed is made up of a group of bits. In a computer, the most common storage unit is a byte, which consists of 8 consecutive bits and is equivalent to 1 alphanumeric character, such as the letter A. So the letter A is made up of 8 unique bits, 01, 000, 001. And they all come together to form the 8-digit sequence, which is then considered a byte, which is then read by the CPU or the computer program to add to the word processing software. Now, as you can see in this chart, this is the letter A, and it is a byte of data. Now, looking at this, there are multiple other characteristics as well as other symbols that are used as well. Now you're probably asking yourself the question, how can I transition this into a classroom setting? And the answer is quite easy. Now, what I have for you here is what's known as a code cracker worksheet. On the code cracker worksheet, there is a question, and then a sequence of binary numbers. Now, by using the sequenced binary numbers down below, you can find a corresponding character. Now, once the binary sequence has been solved, each character adds a piece to the puzzle to the final word of the answer. And once that is solved, the student can then answer the question. Now, to further this, the student could create their own question and then write their own unique binary sequence based on what answer they want to give. This way, students can not only learn to read the binary code, but also understand how to write in the binary language. Now, for students that still don't understand or want a more hands-on approach to this situation, you can use this unique situation or classroom activity that I have set up for you. Alrighty then. So, as an activity in the classroom that you can do to imitate what is binary code, you're going to need at least 3 students per group. Now, each student is going to represent a different aspect of a computer to understand different aspects of binary. We'll have the first student acting as the keyboard. So they will type a message, such as today is Monday, or the sky is blue, something basic that they can all understand. Now, once that has been completed, it will be passed on to child 2, who will represent the CPU. Now, the CPU sends the binary numbers, which represent the letters, to the font definition to work out the letters. So because the keyboard, aka student number 1, has typed the message, today is Monday, the CPU will then have to take the word that's saying, today is Monday, and encode it as binary. Once they have completed encoding the message as binary, student number 2 will pass it on to the third and final student, who is going to act as the computer monitor. Now, the computer monitor will take the binary code and then display the represented character that binary code exists. So because student 2 has coded the message from today is Monday into binary code, student number 3 will need to, using the crack the code worksheet or something similar, write out today is Monday based off of the binary code. Now, once this has been completed, it should rotate around. So student 1, who was the keyboard, now becomes the CPU. So instead of them writing the message, they have to encode it as binary. That means student number 2, the monitor, has to do the exact opposite of what they have just done. So they've got to take the binary and turn it back into letters. While student number 3, who is now acting as the keyboard, gets to create the message. So each student should create a different message, as to say it's not the same, and so that it's more flushed out and each student has an equal and fair chance of doing something interesting. Alright, now we have covered multiple topics in this video, such as software, computer programs, and the backbone of all computers, binary code. Now, learning the binary number system helps students understand what it is like to be a computer. By developing an understanding about how computers are used, and how computers read and store data, and the sheer number of calculations which a computer can do in an instant. Now, why do we have to teach this to our students? Well, it is important, because it allows students to be better prepared for the future, for classes such as coding and the development of more computer-based technologies. By giving them an understanding of the original fundamentals of computers, such as binary and the basics of software and basic programs, we are better preparing the students for the future in the more technical age that we live in now. So after learning all of this new information about computers and binary, it comes to the conclusion of this video. Now, we teach this to better prepare students for the future. Whether it's computer hardware, computer software, computer programs, or binary code, it's all part of the student's future. Now, thank you for watching. My name is Preservice, and I am a student at USC. Thank you.